Yes, now the meeting is recorded. So if someone here misses to join the meeting or you have any work, emergency work, then you can leave the meeting, but you can rewatch it later. Okay. So good evening, everyone. First, I'll introduce about myself. I'm Satika from Coimbatore. I'm a baker since past 10 years, and I'm into the field. And currently, I'm more focused on teaching many students and helping them to transform their life. Okay, so yeah, I'm so happy to see you all today. And yes, I want to let you all know one thing, that since we are quite a lot of people here in this meeting, I just want to tell you one thing, that this chat box is the only way of communication. Yes, and if you want to talk to me personally, or you can just DM us, or you can just leave a message here, so that I'll unmute you at the end and you can talk to me. Okay, so you all can introduce yourself. Okay, so you can just write your name and uh, your city where you belong to. Like for example, Satika, Coimbatore. Okay, so you can all write about yourself so that we can get to know each other. Okay, and if someone here feels that the doubt I'm going to ask is very silly, very basic, please don't hesitate. Okay, so this is just a learning journey. Okay, we are all going to learn together. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask even a silly doubt. Okay, so I'm here to clarify everything. Okay, so let me just see here. Meenakshi from Tirupur. Good evening, Neha. Neha Jain from Tamil Nadu. Good evening, Madhuri. Parul from Delhi. Hi, Ashika. Juhi Haura. Hi, good evening, Sangeeta from Vellakoil. Okay, Hyderabad, Madurai, Haryana, and wow, nice. Sudha from Guntur, Kabita from Jharkhand, and Shabnam from Bangalore, Abhishtika from Raipur, Minasha from Bangalore again, Aishwarya from Coimbatore, Priya Coimbatore. Hi, wow, nice. So Niharika from Mangalore, yeah, Banu. Walaikum salam. Okay, so nice to see you all here, and we are all in different cities, states, like Kolkata, Punjab, Ahmedabad, Mumbai. Wow, it's very nice to see you all here. Okay, so let's get to know each other, and this is one such amazing platform for we all to grow together, right? So I hope today you have watched today's session on how to prepare the zesty lemon syrup and the vanilla cake sponge, right? So you can ask me any doubts regarding it. Okay, so we have other students as well from Andhra Pradesh, Annur, Hyderabad, Patna. Okay. Fine. So now you can all start asking the questions. Okay, so I hope the session will be more clarified, but few of you had some doubts and you have all personally messaged us as well, but it is quite difficult to reply everyone in person, right? So we are here to conduct this meeting specifically to clarify all your doubts, right? So just coming here. Yes. Okay, ma'am, I have doubt regarding, is it necessary to use egg? Diya. Diya, actually, this recipe is an egg-based recipe. Okay. So in this recipe, you cannot skip egg, but we have separate other recipes, and I know you people are so curious about eggless recipe, right? Many of you have messaged me to ask, to send the recipe for the eggless version. Okay, so I have decided with my team to share the eggless recipe, but on the end of fourth day. Okay, so till fourth day it is going to be a complete learning process. Okay, we'll be just going with the flow. Ma'am, I'm a pure vegetarian, so in today's video there was use of egg in the cake. So instead of that, what may I use, ma'am? Okay, Neha, I can understand you. We have separate. See, you all have to understand one thing, that Egg is an versatile ingredient. Okay, so in French variety of desserts or French cuisine, there is nothing called as eggless. Okay, so everything, even the creams are based off egg. Okay, so egg is something versatile ingredient. It plays multiple role, you know. It acts as a flavoring agent, it acts as a binding agent, it acts at so many, like you, it raises the overall sponge. Okay, so leavening agent. So egg plays many role in, in the creating a perfect sponge. But to replace the egg, I just can't tell you just one thing. Like if you use vinegar, you can replace egg, you can use curd to replace egg. It's not like that. You have a separate recipe to follow for that. Okay, all the ingredient varies for an eggless recipe. And since you people are demanding eggless recipe right from today morning, I am going to share with you all. Okay, so don't worry, Neha, I am going to give you all this eggless recipe on fourth day. Okay, so kindly wait till that. Okay. Wow, Parameshwari from Coimbatore. Wow, Parameshwari, I am also from Coimbatore. Hi. Please tell substitute of egg as I am vegetarian. Yashika. Yashika, since I just clarified this, I am going to share with you the eggless recipe. Okay, so yeah, I'll be sharing, but I cannot tell you just one ingredient to replace. We have to alter the whole recipe for that if you are considering an eggless version, right? So, yes. Can we replace maida with any other healthier alternative? Is yes, what option and how much? Okay, so yes, you can alternate this. Instead of all-purpose flour, you can go for wheat or even a ragi. You can go, but you have to compromise on the flavor, taste. Everything changes. Okay, the density. Other than the all-purpose flour, all other flour contains more gluten in it. Okay, so since it has more gluten, you will be ending up resulting in a thicker, denser cake. Okay, so that cannot be just skipped. Okay, so gluten, if there is gluten in a flour, it is going to be so much thick. And yes, if you are trying to replace with wheat, you can just alternate with the same quantity. Okay, whatever the all purpose flour is mentioned in a gram, right, you can just replace with the same. So that works, right? Okay. Without egg, yeah, without egg, I'll be just telling you, for preparing 1 kg of cake, what quantity of ingredient are needed. Okay, so this cake is going to be like 1 kg only. Like, see, if you want your cake to be total of 1 kg, like all the frosting, all the filling, okay, it differs from one cake to the other. Okay, when you use whipped cream as a frosting, the weight of the sponge differs. If you use ganache or the truffle cream, right, that when you use to this recipe, that also alters the whole weight of the final product, right? So we have to see that which cream you are going to use, what filling you are going to use. Like if you are using compote or the fruits, it is going to weigh differently. If you're going to use nuts, it is going to weigh differently. So we have to know that what cake sponge we are going to use, what filling we are going to use, what frosting we are going to use, and the syrup. Yes, so it contains so many things to segregate, and each differs accordingly, right? So for example, if you want to frost a cake with a whipped cream, right, so then you want your sponge to be kind of 550 grams, something like that, and the 50 grams is going to be covered with the syrup, right, and the balance part, right, the 400 grams, that is going to be covered with your cream. So that is how we are going to split up. And in case of ganache or the chocolate truffle, okay, that we are going to prepare white chocolate ganache, no, in this learning we are going to prepare white truffle. Okay, so if you are using that, and if you want your 1 kg cake to be done, okay, with the help of an white truffle, then you would need 400 grams of sponge, okay, 50 grams of syrup, and the remaining is going to be your frosting. Okay, because the ganache is going to be so heavy compared to your sponge. So we have to alternate differently for that. for each of the frosting, each of the recipe, it varies. Okay, how to make eggless cake? Dear, I am going to send you the eggless cake. Okay, and by fourth day you will be getting it. Yeah, we don't eat egg. Yes, I can understand, but many of you are, many of the people demands egg based. Okay, so that is why I have put up with an egg based version. But don't worry, those who are very particular with eggless version, I am going to send you on the fourth day, right? Yes, ma'am, please share eggless. Of course, I'm going to share. Thank you. Can I change vanilla essence, place strawberry or butterscotch? Okay, so strawberry or butterscotch. See, if you are going to add strawberry essence and if you are going to add a fresh strawberry, which would be better is when you add the fresh strawberry. Okay, so always try to use the natural form. Okay, because people come to us for as a home baker, like when why do they don't want to go to bakery and they are coming to us as a baker, home baker, right? Because the first important thing people see in a home baker, the quality of a home baker should be like there should not be too much of preservative, there should be no preservative in that. Okay, so everything is freshly prepared, nothing is going to be stored for a longer days. Okay, so we'll be using very less or very mild colors. Okay, and mainly the preservative should not be there, and most commonly kind of not adding too much extra ingredient that affects the health. Okay, that is the main quality that people see from in a home baker. Okay, so please don't try to add all the strawberry essence and all, because that is going to actually taste so lame. Okay, so instead of that you can just go for a fresh strawberries. Okay, that would be tasting really great, right? So yes, where is it? Till fourth day every recipe will contain egg. So this is the only recipe that we are going to make with egg. Okay, so vanilla sponge is based on egg. Okay, and this all other creams, syrups and fillings, nothing is going to contain egg. Okay, everything is eggless only. Okay, ma'am, is breakfast sugar same as powdered sugar? So breakfast sugar is nothing but the normal granulated sugar. When you powder it, it becomes like a powdered sugar. Okay. Substitute of eggs. Yeah, Yashika, as I told you earlier, there is nothing to substitute just with one ingredient. Okay, egg is a versatile ingredient, it plays multiple role. So we want to alter the whole recipe. Even the all-purpose flour changes, even the baking powder soda changes. So everything is going to change. So I am going to send you on the fourth day. First I used to beat egg, then add dry ingredients, but yours eggs at last. Why? Yes, that's a great question, dear. So I am going to explain about this now. Okay, the reason why I add eggs finally is when you overbeat your egg, okay, it forms a tighter network of glutens. It contains proteins called as a gluten, egg contains, and what happens is when you overbeat the egg, it is going to form like a tighter network and it results in a denser cake. Your cake will not be fluffy as you are expecting. Okay, so if you want your cake to be nice, spongy and fluffy, always add eggs finally as the final part. Okay, and you are not just going to overbeat it, and this the same happens for your all purpose flour as well. It also contains a quite percentage of gluten in it. Okay, so you are not supposed to beat all purpose flour too much as well as the eggs too much. Okay, as it forms a tighter network and it results in a denser cake. So always add the eggs finally and just make sure that it is incorporated into the batter. Okay, as a beginner what we do is we just beat for a longer time, right? So you have to avoid all those mistakes to get a perfect cake. So yes, if we are using premix, there is no option to cream, butter and sugar. Is it absolutely necessary step? Meenakshi, actually I'm a person, I don't even recommend premixes. Okay, so I try to do some, like, you know, bake from the scratch, that is going to taste even more amazing than your regular premixes. Okay, and premixes contains a lot of preservatives in it, lot of like, it has to stay good, right, for a longer period of time. So what they do is they'll be adding so much of preservatives, and it is not actually good for health as well, right? So I'm not going to use any premixes. So what you can do is just make from the scratch, that is going to taste absolutely amazing, right? Welcome, Neha. Can we get the recipe card in WhatsApp group? Of course, yeah, today I'll send you. I think we have already sent the link, Sultana Parveen, but since you have asked, I'll be sending it again in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Can I use oil instead of butter? What is the difference between the use of oil and butter, Sumana? Okay, Sumana, that's a good question. Yes, of course, you can replace butter with oil. Yes. And the difference between oil based recipe and the butter based recipe is quite differentiable. Okay, so the flavor of the product, the flavor of the end product, and the sponginess, the texture, everything is going to be perfectly fine, and it will be tasting really amazing when you use butter in it, right? If and also the butter should be also of a good quality. It should be kind of a branded butter, not a normal butter that you get from the shop, right? So it has that smell in it, so people don't generally like that. Okay, so use a good branded butter, and that is going to taste really amazing. And in case of oil, I'm not degrading the oil based ingredients. Of course, oil based ingredient is also going to taste good, it is also going to taste spongy. Okay, but the first preference in the taste wise goes to the butter. But when it comes to commercial purpose, like we are all bakers, we are going to sell those cakes, right, to others. And from a selling point of view, you want to put a less amount in your product, right? The initial investment should be low. Yes, so in case of that, you can go with an oil for commercial purpose. For doing business, you can go with an oil based recipe. Okay, when you use butter, then again your product pricing is to be higher, right? So these are the main differences. Butter based recipe is quite expensive, oil based recipe is not that much expensive, right? And ma'am, brownie, cupcake, cookies share both egg and eggless recipes. Vaishu, okay. So Vaishu, brownies, cupcakes, cookies, all those things need special care and attention. Like, I have to teach you that how to prepare all these things, because even if we make a one step mistake, the output is going to be not in a right way, right? So merely sending the recipe card, and if you did not get the result, then it is not good, right? So I am going to conduct classes on all these things that you have mentioned, probably in 2025. I'm not sure about it, but I have plans to conduct. So at that time you can come and join, right? And it contains both egg and eggless as well, right? What should be the consistency from the video? I can see it seems to be thick. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, dear, you can have the consistency from the semi liquidy to a thick batter. When you use butter in your recipe, your final batter is going to be kind of slightly thick. Okay, but when you use oil in your recipe, your batter is going to be liquidy. Both are the same, both are correct. Okay, there is no wrong if your batter is runny or if your batter is thick. Okay, when you use butter, your batter is going to be thick, and when you use oil, your batter is going to be liquidy. So both are right. Okay, can we replace oil instead of butter? Yes, of course, Anis Fatima, you can. Ma'am, I made plum cake with wheat flour, and it's totally ate by my bin. Okay. See, dear, see, plum cake has its authentic flavor. So, I am also a person who prepare plum cake, but not with an wheat flour. I do with the all-purpose flour. But what I do is an alcohol-free version. Okay, and that is my special. So preparing plum cake with wheat flour, see, wheat flour has an peculiar flavor in it. Okay, why all purpose flour is called as an all purpose flour? Okay, because it does not have any flavor in it, and it takes in the flavor of whatever you put in it. If you add orange juice in it, it tastes like an orange cake, right? If you put strawberry in it, it is going to taste an orange cake, sorry, strawberry cake, right? So whatever flavor you're going to add into an all purpose flour, it has its own it converts itself into that flavor. Okay, but that is not in the case of your wheat flour or barley or any other flour, right? So these are the flour, wheat, ragi and all, it has its own flavor, right? So it will be so much dominant and the flavor will be clashing as well. So please try to prepare it with a plum cake with an all purpose flour. Okay, ma'am, what is the company of the beater to be used and of what, ma'am? Okay. So Neha, you can use Philip brand, that is really working great, and basically any branded KitchenAid also works good. Philip, Agaro. So there are many brand, but my personal favorite is Philip. Okay, that is going to come for a longer period of time. No rusting of the rods. There are so many benefits from it, and anywhere like above 350 watt you can go for it. Okay, so 350 watt is going to stay good for a longer period of time, right? And ma'am, when I bake cake it becomes floppy, but once I take out from the OTG the center part goes down. So can you please tell me what to do so that it will not become squeeze? Yes, dear, like there are so many things that results in a disaster cake. Okay, so in your cake you're telling that the center part is going down and there is a kind of depth in between, right? So what happens is you might have overbeaten your batter. Okay, so when you overbeat the batter the cake sunks in between, it just traps in. Okay, that could be one reason, and the other reason is, your leavening agents such as baking powder and soda, that may be of an expired date, or it is not working in a right value or the right proportion you have not added. So that could be other reason. And the third reason will be like frequently opening the door of the OTG, like whether it is baked or not, whether it is baked or not, that's not going to work in case of baking. Okay, so like if something is going wrong there may be multiple reasons behind it, right? So make sure that you're first of all following a right recipe. Okay, and then we have to follow all the, even the mode settings, the rod setting, everything is important. Okay, so how to understand the measurement of 1 cup and one 3 by 4 cup? Okay, so 1 cup is just the 1 cup measurement, and 3 by 4th is you can have that half cup plus 1 by 4 cup. Okay, so generally it has cup measurement has half cup as well as 1 by 4 cup. So when you add these two you get 3 by 4 cup, right? ओके मैम, मेरा क्वेश्चन का आंसर दीजिए. जूही, कैन यू प्लीज resend your question? I don't know where I miss it, and if possible please try to write in English because I know Hindi but I'm not that much familiar. Okay, so if you try to write in English that would be better. Okay, can we replace oil and butter? Of course Paramu, you can replace oil and butter. Ma'am, may I know the butter? I mean some consistent salted. Can you tell which brand is good? Okay. So, yes, use unsalted butter for baking purpose. Okay. And the brand is Amul, Hatsun, Milky Mist. Okay. All these are, and Delecta as well. They are all doing really great. Okay. So Amul generally is comparatively much lesser cost compared to your Milky Mist as well as Hudson. Okay, ma'am, is liquid color okay or the powder one, ma'am? So when you want to add color to your batter, don't add liquid color because it just alternates and changes the consistency of the batter, right? So don't use liquid color. Instead, you can use powder color or gel color. That would be best. When you want to consider adding color to your batter, go with the gel color. Okay, so that works better than the powder color. Okay. Welcome, Madhuri. Is this theory class or practical? So this is kind of, I'm going to demonstrate you each day all the things, all the recipes, how to do it. Like we are going to do photo reel cake class. That one full cake I'm going to show you right from the scratch. Okay, but we can convert this as a practical session as well. You can try the recipe that I have given you, okay, and send this picture to us, okay, so that we'll be taking it and we'll be just discussing what are the faults you have, what are the struggles that you have faced during baking and all. So one day if it is completed, you can just try the next day, okay, or the same day you can try the same recipe and you can just do along with me. Okay, so this 1 hour or 1.5 hour, like this 7 p.m. live Q&A session is particularly to clarify all the doubts. Okay, so I think I made clear. Some food color was okay. Try to add only little. Okay, I generally don't prefer adding color to the batter. Okay, so see, cakes are consumed by kids and elders as well as the middle-aged people, so why to add so many colors? And now people are so much aware of what are the side effects get when we eat colors and when we add preservatives. Okay, so there is no peekaboo here. So try to present it as natural as possible. Okay, even if I am going to give this to my son, okay, I'm not going to add so much color into my baking, okay, all the cakes and all. Okay, so try to avoid all those things. And yes, of course, as a kid they demand for colorful cake, but you can just give it as an outer coating and you can remove it later and then you just can give the inner part. Okay, that is what generally I do, and I also educate my customer in the same way. Okay, welcome dear. Can we use caster sugar for butter cream frosting? Of course, you can use no, 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 no. You cannot use caster sugar for buttercream. Okay, so you have to use icing sugar only, because when you use caster sugar is nothing but a normal sugar, normal breakfast sugar, right? But the granules will be more finer. Okay, so normal granulated sugar, but the granules will be very, very fine. What happens is, generally sugar, when it comes in contact with the atmospheric air, what happens is it releases water. Okay, when it is heated it releases water, when it is cold it releases water. So when water is released into your frosting, what happens? Your stability of the cream just goes away and it will be very liquidy. It is going to ruin the whole frosting. So don't use caster sugar for your buttercream. Use only icing sugar. Icing sugar contains cornstarch. Okay, both it contains the sugar as well as the cornstarch. So the work of the cornstarch is to trap in the moisture, like is if there are any excess moisture in the recipe, it just traps in so that you get a perfect stabilized buttercream. Okay, always use icing sugar. Okay, can I use oil instead of butter? What is the difference between butter and oil, Sumana? Sumana, actually, I have clearly explained about this difference between oil and butter. Yes, of course, you can use oil instead of butter, and the main difference is the taste and the pricing. Okay, so the taste is going to taste really good when you use a butter based recipe, and it is going to be so soft, spongy, kind of, it gives a good mouth feel when you use a butter in your recipe. Whereas in an oil based recipe, it is also going to taste good, but the taste will be far more better when it is in a butter based recipe. Okay, and the making charge of a butter based recipe is quite higher when compared to the oil. So when you're doing it for a commercial purpose and all, you have to consider using oil. Okay, and homemade premixes. So how to prepare homemade premixes is, generally you have to mix up all the dry ingredients together and keep, okay, and then see, it's the same recipe that I have shared you today, no, you can sift and keep all the dry ingredients, and then when you want to prepare the egg, the cake, at that time you can add the wet ingredients. So that would be the homemade premixes. But ma'am, naturally egg is gluten free. The longer you beat, fluffier the recipe will be. No dear, like when we beat egg for a longer time, it initially it fluffs up. Initially it gets more, more foam in it. And but what happens is when you overbeat, like I'm telling the final stage, okay, then what happens is it just breaks down and it just comes to a normal liquidy state, okay. So don't overbeat the egg, and egg contains gluten. It is not absolutely gluten free, it contains a protein, okay. So it is inside the that yellow part, right? So yellow part contains so much of fat in it. Egg yolk contains fat in it, and the white part, the egg whites contains both water content as well as protein, okay. That protein is the gluten, okay. So it is having gluten in it. Will you teach cookies also, ma'am? Yashika. Of course, Yashika. Thank you so much for asking. I'll be teaching cookies, brownies. I have so many other plans, but I think I'll be implementing in 2025. So kindly stay in this group and you will be receiving all the updates. Okay. आपने जो मेजरमेंट से केक बनाया है वो कितना केजी है का है? Okay, so Juhi, when we bake this cake, right? So it just comes like around 650 to 700 grams, okay? That is the measurement of this cake. Maybe like, yeah, 700 grams approximately. When we add frosting to it, the weight varies, okay? Uh, okay, Sumana, thank you. Welcome, Sumana. Ma'am, your other online course link. Parul, so currently I'm conducting this course as well as other basic to advanced course, but I'll be sending you all the details. I like many of you have asked me about my next level course, and thank you so much for liking the way I teach and the way I explain. Many of you have appreciated me. Thank you so much, and we'll be discussing about this on third and fourth day, okay. So let us complete all this learning journey first, and then we'll be going to the next part, right? Can you tell me butter, which brand you are using? So I'll be generally using Amul, or Milky Mist, or Hatsun. So all these three brands I like it personally. Okay, can you tell me how much weight? So yes, the weight of the cake that we have baked today will be approximately 700 grams. Ma'am, there are two admins of the WhatsApp group, which is your number. I need to send you something and can't send pic here. Okay, Dia, you can send to the number that is ending with 3030. Okay, 7200823030. I'll just leave the number here so that you can just contact us, right? And also I'll not be available immediately. You can text to my team members and they will be just replying to me, right? Okay. Yes, ma'am, please tell me why my cupcakes burnt in low part. Okay, so that is because of your OTG is overheated here. So you have to make sure that you are working at the right temperature. Okay. And hi ma'am, if we get a large amount of cupcake order, how can we manage to prepare the cake batter? And my doubt is, can we prepare the batter at the time, or how many times to prepare the batter? Okay, that's a good question, dear. Okay, so if you get a large amount of cupcake batter, cupcake order, okay, so you can prepare all the cupcakes batter together and you can just put it in some batches, okay. And specifically my recipe that I have shared with you today, right, it can be stored even inside the fridge. Nothing is going to happen to that batter, okay. And if you want to use it for baking On the next day you can just take out the batter, just bring to the room temperature, and then you can put it into your cupcake molds. Okay, so that how it works, but generally not all the recipes work in the same way. But I am so much sure about my recipe that I have shared you today will be working great even if you stored your cupcake batter or the cake batter inside the fridge and you can bake the next day. Okay, and it depends according to one recipe to the other recipe as well. Okay, yeah, welcome Neha. Butter or oil using for cupcakes? So you can use either butter or oil. It is up to you. Like you have to analyze all the costing and all. So if you are selling, then you have to analyze about the costing, how much investment is going on to the cake and all. Everything you have to notice down. But generally, if you're going to do for your home or your kids or the family, then you can go with a butter based version that is going to taste really amazing. Okay, my cake was so soft and buffy once it took out of the cooker. Later it was too hard. Vanilla sponge cake, what will be the reason, ma'am? Okay, so Vaishnavi, you have to understand that whatever you keep it during the baking or during the cooking process, it is going to stay fluffy only because there is so much heat in it and there is so much air circulation in it. Okay, so at that time when it is hot it will be so fluffy. But the only thing, like whether you have done your recipe properly or not, when you are going to know is once the cake is coming to the room temperature, once it is completely cooled down, then how it is, whether it is fluffy, whether it is hard. So that is how we are going to know like how the cake is actually. Okay, so you have to follow a right recipe for that. If there is less moisture content, it becomes hard many times. If there is too much of heat, it becomes hard. There are multiple factors affecting it. Okay, to prepare strawberry cake, I have to use juice of fruit or the paste or slice. Okay, you can add the cut strawberries, freshly chopped cut strawberries into the batter. So that works great. Okay, otherwise you can prepare strawberry compote and you can prepare the vanilla base sponge and you can keep the compote inside each layer. That is going to taste even more great. Okay, so when compared to the previous method. Okay, can we cook this cake in gas? Like if you are going to bake for your home purpose, you're not very much particular about all the parameters, like even if it is slightly broken at the top, even if it is slightly dry, then it is, if it is okay for you, then you can cook in your normal gas. Okay, but if you're someone who wants to bake professionally, if you want to sell your cakes to the customers, then you have to use a professional OTG. Okay, so that is going to be like a one time investment. It is going to stay super good for number of years. Okay, so my OTG I have purchased like 8 years before and it is still doing great without even one repair. It is going doing great, touchwood. Okay, so it is like an one time investment and you're going to get amazing results when you use an OTG. Okay, it is not wrong if you are going to bake in gas, but you cannot expect the same result all the time. Okay, sometimes it might be burned because there won't be like temperature control, like only we have low flame, medium flame and the high flame. So we are not that much how much temperature it is in working on, and that and all we are not going to know in a gas or in a microwave and all. Okay, so you have to see to that as well. Okay, welcome Madhuri. Minimum cupcake kg. Okay, so if you prepare 1 kg batter for cupcakes, you can get approximately 24 to 26 cupcakes, right? And it depends according to the cupcake size as well. If there are many varieties, small, medium, large and all, so I am talking about the medium cupcake size. Okay, can you please explain again the weight of the cake and how much syrup is added in the cake sponge according to the weight? Sometimes I put more sugar syrup and cake sponge gets more wet. Ekta. Okay, so Ekta, it depends according to the frosting that we use. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example for an whipped cream frosting. Say if I'm going to use whipped cream frosting with vanilla sponge and the sugar syrup. Okay, so I am going to keep my sponge value to be like kind of 550 grams, and the remaining 50 grams is to be kind of your syrup and all. Okay, but do not over soak it. Over soaking, see, if I tell 50 grams of syrup, it is not necessary that you have to pour all the 50. It is approximately 50, and the remaining is going to be compensated with your whipped cream. Okay, and if you want filling, then again the weight varies. Okay, so if you want the filling, again you have to reduce the sponge value on the cream value. Okay, usually for one layer of filling we need approximately 60 to 70 grams of any filling. Okay, so that is going to be taste great. Yes. Okay, ma'am, do you give classes in person, ma'am? Okay, Neha, I think you're asking about the offline class or online, I don't know. But in an online, we have a customized class, and we have offline as well. Okay, so you can just ping to us the same number, and then you can just get all the details regarding it. What can be used for writing the names on the top of cakes for decorations? You can use truffle creams, that works great, or you can use an you know you can use, as well as you can use a fondant as well, like you can just keep the puncher and then you can write the names on it. So there are many other ways as well. You can just melt the chocolate and write, but give it a try before it and then put it on your cake. Okay, if your cake is tasting really good, it also has to look good. Okay, so we have to make sure about it. For preparing 1 kg of cake, what quantity of ingredients are needed? Okay, so you can say today I have given you one recipe, right? So that is a cake that is going to that is going to be weigh around 700 grams. So what you can do is you can just multiply with 0 0.1 or 0 0.2 until you get 1000 grams. You can multiply it. So that is a simpler way to do. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Will you teach cake icing and layers? Of course, Parul, I am going to teach you how to layer the cake, how to crumb coat it, and all sorts of things. Like maybe by tomorrow, I'll be teaching all those things. So kindly stay and watch all the learnings that we send. Okay, ma'am. Muffins, tea cakes, dry fruit cakes, and sell in the society, and got very good feedback from my customers. But ma'am, I'm not able to do proper creaming in the cake. I mean finishing decoration of the cake. How to do? Please help me. Okay, dear Abhishtika. Okay, so you can what you can do is you have to have a right mentor for that. You have to learn the art of frosting a cake. Okay, so you have to frost your whipping cream in a different way, and it differs when you use a truffle cream. Okay, but to start initially you can go with the truffle cream, that the cream that we are going to do by tomorrow. Okay, that is going to be a good stable cream, and then you can practice with that and then go with the whipping cream. So many of the bakers do this as a mistake, like not the bakers, the beginners, okay, who are very much into baking. They want to ice a cake and all. What they do is you just take the whipping cream and whip and do. So whipping cream is quite tricky. Okay, so when you want to properly frost a cake, learn how to frost a cake using a ganache or the truffle cream. Okay, and first learn that and then come to the buttercream and then go to the whipped cream. Okay, so that is how it has to be, so that you get a nice result. Okay, when you know how to frost an truffle cream cake, then you can obviously know what are the mistakes that you're going to do in a buttercream cake or an whipped cream cake. Okay, so start with all the ganashed cake, and if you want to learn all those things, you can just privately message us, and we'll be sending you the details and you can learn that as well. Okay, in eggless cake, what can be used in place of eggs? Shashmita, so as I told earlier in this session, okay, egg is a versatile ingredient, dear. It cannot be just replaced with one ingredient, okay? It has multiple roles to play. So if you want to replace egg, you have to alter this whole recipe, the all-purpose flour, baking powder, soda, everything changes. So I'll be sending you the recipe on the end of fourth day, okay? Don't worry. So the recipe for vanilla sponge you have given is for how many kgs? So it will be around approximately 750, 700 gram, dear. Okay, so 700 gram will be approximately is the weight of this recipe. Ma'am, will you teach how to cut cakes of the cake properly and icing techniques? Of course, Parul, I am going to teach you how to properly cut the cake, how to layer it, how to soak it, how much to soak, how much to add cream, all those things I am going to teach you. Okay, can you please tell me the live class session and fee details? Thank you so much, Anis Fatima, for for asking this, and you want, I think you like the way I teach. You can just ping to us, or you can wait till third and fourth day so that you can get to know what are the other classes I am conducting. Okay, so please wait till that. Ma'am, is icing sugar and our normal sugar consuming sugar is different, ma'am? Yes, dear, the both are slightly different. Icing sugar contains both sugar as well as corn flour, whereas the normal sugar contains only the sugar. Okay, but it secretes more water when it is added to your kind of frosting and all, so it secretes more water. So don't use normal sugar for frosting. For preparing any creams, don't use normal sugar, use only icing sugar. Can we add natural colors from vegetable instead of artificial one? Wow, that's a great idea to add colors into your batter. Yes, of course you can go. Okay, so whatever way, natural way you can follow, you can. Okay, so you have beetroot powder for all the deeper pink colors and all, and similarly we have others like matcha for green color, and all the natural colors as well we have, and you can go for that as well. Okay, I will add natural color or food color. So I better tell you to add natural colors, don't go for the normal food colors and all, okay? So it is okay to add food color, but in a minimal quantity. Don't give too much bright colors and all. Try to add only little amount of color, that will be really great. Okay? How much oil to replace with how much butter? So the exactly the same quantity you can replace. What oil is used for cakes? You have to use only the refined oil, refined sunflower oil, okay, not any other oil, because they have peculiar flavor in it, right? So that won't be tasting great. In place of 1 by 4 cup of oil, how many cups should take for butter? Okay, so you have to take the same 1 by 4 cup of butter. Okay, so exactly, see, oil and butter contains fat in it, right? So you are going to replace it exactly with the same amount. Okay, if you are going to add kind of orange juice into this vanilla sponge cake that I have shared you today, you have to replace the water or the milk quantity with orange juice. Okay, you're not going to add extra of orange juice. Okay, so I think you got my point. Like, dry ingredients has to be of a specific value, wet ingredients have to be of a specific value, and you can just exactly alternate that value, but not too much or too less, so that is going to interfere the whole process, right? Which oil used to use for the cake? Okay, Paramu, you can use refined sunflower oil, that works great. Can we cook this in cake in gas? Of course you can, but the results will be varying. Okay, if you want a consistent result, or you are a home baker selling it professionally, go for an OTG. Or if you are or if you want to just bake for your home, then you can do with the gas. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yes, I really like the way you are explaining every single thing in detail. Thank you so much, Parul, for these kind words. Thanks, dear, I enjoyed your class. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you so much. I missed today's live session. Okay, no issue, Sultana Parveen. This session is being recorded and it will be uploaded and will be available within tonight. Okay, so and you can rewatch it later and try to attend the live class, on live. Okay, so that you won't get bored or you will be having more thing to. People will be asking so many kind of doubts and you can just get clarified. Okay, and if you have any doubt you can just ping me directly, right? So please attend the live class, that would be more interesting when compared to your normal the recorded version. Okay, ma'am, I'm very new to prepare cakes, ma'am, but I want to be pro to prepare cakes and choose as career path. Wow, that's great. So what I have to do, can please help me, ma'am? Of course, Madhuri, I'm helping many of the students. Like my students are who are very very new and they don't know anything about baking, right? So I have teach them and they are doing really great right now. Many of my students have quit their IT job and all because there will be so much work pressure and they have to complete all the targets and the working 20, like all day in a week is not going to be like it is not going to be good, right? So you have to enjoy your work. That happens in baking. Okay, so you can enjoy and you can earn as well. So I'll discuss about it on the third and fourth day because I have the next level program. But on all these days we'll be just focusing on how to make this photo reel cake. Okay, but don't miss the opportunity that I'll be sharing you, but please wait till that. Okay, I had baked a cake. I held the structure when it was hot. After cooling down, the cake was still soft but it was breaking apart. What could be the reason? I used 50-50 all purpose flour and wheat flour. It is okay to use 50 of all purpose and 50 of wheat flour. There is no wrong in it, but there may be some other issue in your recipe. Okay, so you have to follow a proper recipe, dear. The leavening agent should be proper, the binding agent should be proper. Okay, so binding agent is something that brings together all the ingredients and keeps it intact, right? So that has to be, all the proportion has to be in a right way. And if there is mistake in any one of these, it is going to be like splitting apart or sunking or breaking, like so many issues will be coming. Okay, so always follow a proper recipe. See, I can understand, like I am also a person who started baking like 10 years back. I was just searching some random YouTube channels and website and all, right? So I was searching there and I have picked few recipes I have tried and nothing worked to me. Okay, and due to all the flop recipes, then I created one my recipe, my own recipe. Okay, so yeah, we have to follow a proper recipe. Not all the recipe that is showing, that is shown online or website or the YouTube, it is not going to work out. Okay, some might work, some might not. Okay, so you have to follow a proper recipe, dear. Okay, how much hour can I keep the prepared cake batter outside? Yes, you can keep a batter outside for the maximum of 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, not more than that. If it is exceeding more than that, then you can cling wrap and keep it inside the fridge. Okay, and then you can bake it later. Welcome, Sri Dharala. For how many days we can keep this batter in refrigerator? Okay, so try to keep it maximum of 1 or 2 days, not more than that. You can even store, but what happens is the freshness of the batter goes away. Okay, so anything that is prepared freshly is going to taste really good. Okay, and yes, so try to keep it a maximum of 2 days, not more than that. Okay, how long can we raise the batter in room temperature? Will it affect the softness of the cake? For the maximum of 30 to 40 minutes, it is not going to affect the softness or rising of the cake, but try to load it as soon as possible. I can understand that if you have many things to do, we'll be doing it prior, and 30 to 40 minutes will not affect. If it is exceeding that, then just refrigerate it. Okay, ma'am also teach method of baking on gas and microwave also. Yashika, so I am not used with all the baking with the gas and like of course I have tried, but I have got the results will be varying from one time to the other time. Okay, so OTG is a professional equipment that we use for as a home baker. So that is very very important for any home baker. You can bake on gas, but you won't get a consistent result. Okay, so it is always best to go for OTG. Ma'am, you're wrapping the sponge so that the moisture is there for long period, but how can we maintain the moisture in the cake with whipped cream over it? Okay, when you have fully frosted your cake and you want to maintain the moisture, what you can do is you have to put your fully frosted cake into the cake box, and then you have to keep it inside. Don't directly keep the frosted cake into the fridge. Okay, so the fridge contains cold air. Okay, what happens is it just dries out all the frosting and all. So keep it inside the cake box and then place it inside the fridge. That works better. Ma'am, how long can we store the syrup in what condition? Okay, your syrup can be stored for maximum of 4 to 6 months as well, because sugar syrup itself is a natural preservative. Okay, you can store it for as long as 4 to 6 months. Okay, and you have to keep it inside the fridge, not in the room temperature, if you are considering to store for a longer period of time. Ma'am, convection oven, low cake, 180 degree. Okay, so I'm not sure about what language you are speaking, Taluri. Okay, but I can just get to know, like in a convection oven you have to bake in 180 degree, and for 40 minutes you have to bake. Okay, for at least 40 minutes or 45 minutes, it depends according to one OTG to the other as well. Okay, and ma'am, can you please speak in Hindi? Dev. Okay, so sorry, dear, I cannot speak Hindi. I am very much used with English language so that everyone can understand, right? Like here, we are all mix of people, like Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, like there were different parts of India, right? So I can speak only English as a medium so that everyone can understand, okay? And I am also very familiar with English, okay? Not with Hindi. I can understand, but I cannot speak fluently. Ma'am, can you have overbeaten the dry ingredients? It is okay, please reply. Okay, dear, I have not overbeaten my dry ingredients. Okay, so how to get to know is like when you beat the batter, it should not be over mixed. Like it has to be incorporated into the batter, but not over beating it. Okay, so overbeating means once the batter is mixed well and still you are beating for a longer time, so that is called as overbeating. Okay, but I have some other ingredient to add in between and I'm beating. Okay, that is not a thing called as an overbeating. Overbeating means once your batter is completely done and you are beating even after that, that is called as overbeating. Okay, which OTG is best and how many liters for the home baker? Okay, so you can, Ekta, you can go with Morphe Richard, Philip, or Prestige and Bajaj. All these things, and even Wonder Chef is also working great. Okay, and for a home baker, if you are very new and you want to start home baking as a professional baker, then you can go with a minimum of 45 liters, so that gives a good result. Okay, and yeah, may I know the estimation to start it as a career? Okay, that's a good question. So you can initially start, give initial investment of like including all the OTG, a hand mixer and all the basic equipments required for baking, and you can start with the minimum of 15 to 20,000. Okay, with that you can start your home baking as a business. Okay, so I have started with an initial investment of 16,000. Okay, and now it has just multiplied rapidly. Okay, but now, you can start anywhere from 15 to 20k, even including all the OTG, hand mixer and all the basic items. Okay, ma'am, how kg cake you have baked? How much kg cake you have baked the cake in video? Please reply. Okay, Mahajabin, you have we have baked for the cake of approximately 700 grams. Okay, for cake baking, OTG or microwave, which one is good? OTG is the best. मैम बेकिंग पाउडर और सोडा मिक्स करके बैटर फ्रिज में नेक्स्ट डे तक स्टोर कर सकते हैं क्या? Of course, you can store your baking powder and soda mixed batter inside the fridge, but make sure your baking powder is a double acting baking powder. Normal baking powder will not fulfill your requirement if you are trying to store it inside the fridge. You have to use double acting baking powder. Like if you are considering to store this batter inside the fridge, you have to use a double acting baking powder. Okay, so please make sure that. Can you please tell the quantity for 1 pound cake? Okay, so pound cake is also another amazing recipe, and we have a separate whole recipe for that, dear. And quantity depends upon how much gram you want. We have pound cake for 500 grams and 1 kg, even for 250 grams I do. Okay, and it differs for each recipe. Okay, how to make cupcake baking video in group, ma'am? Okay, so Paramu, see, if you are someone who want to learn cupcake, okay, from me, I am going to conduct class on the different varieties of cupcake very soon. Maybe in 2025 I'm going to conduct brownie class, cupcake class, cookies class. Okay, so please wait till that, but I need some time to organize all the back end works. Okay. Okay. Okay, madam, convection low cake 180. Okay, I'm not understanding your language, Taluri. Please try to text in English. Okay. For cake baking, you have to use 170 or 175 degrees. So for get a nice soft cake, and for 1 kg batter, you have to bake till 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, and this depends according to your OTG as well. Okay, it differs from one OTG to other. There will be a slight difference, but approximately 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, Paramu Lakshana, please reply, ma'am. What to reply? Can you please type again? I don't know where I missed your conversation. Okay, so what's the difference between truffle cream and whipping cream? Okay, truffle cream is kind of you get to add so much of chocolate and cream. That is your truffle cream. Whipping cream is generally we get in full carton. Okay, that we are going to blend with the help of an hand mixer, and it rises and becomes fluffy, and that we'll be using as a cream. Okay, truffle cream is more costly when compared to your whipping cream. So these are the major difference, and taste wise I personally like truffle cream instead of whipping cream. Okay. Asifa, in cup measurement, sugar should be measured in cup and then powder it, or powder the sugar first and then measure with a cup. Okay, that's a great question, and many of you get confused in this. So what I generally do is I take the sugar first and I take little bit more extra of sugar and I just grind it. Okay, and then I'll be making powder, and that powdered sugar is the one we are going to measure. Okay, so you have to measure the powdered sugar for all the cup measurement. Okay, so generally if you are someone who is doing home baking as a professional way, then try to skip the cups and spoon method and go with an weight machine so that you get a consistent result. Okay, very patiently you have answered to all our questions. Very nice. Thank you so much, Ekta. Thank you so much for your kind words. Where are the offline classes? Offline classes currently I am conducting only in Coimbatore. Okay, but people are asking from different cities. I might can conduct classes in other cities as well, but currently in Coimbatore only. Okay, so if you want any questions regarding the offline classes or any clarifications, you can message us privately. Okay, I saw many baking videos. They'll be using the egg first, but here it's the last so that we can feel the egg smell. Okay, Pavitra, it is see, even if you use egg at the beginning, the batter contains egg, so anyway it is going to smell egg, right? So when your recipe is a proper recipe and you're using a good quality vanilla extract, then your egg smell is not going to come even when you add before or at the last. Okay, so with the proper recipe you won't get a egg smell when you add at the beginning or at the end. Okay, so this recipe particularly, nobody can taste and tell that it is an egg based or an eggless recipe. Okay, because it does not contains the smell of the egg, because I'll be always using the good quality vanilla extract. Okay, and you can also follow the same. um, okay, ma'am, you told you will share the eggless recipe on fourth day, but I have to make cake till afternoon tomorrow. So can you send the recipe in group today and can send the video on fourth day, Dia? Okay, Dia, since you have requested, I'll be sending you the eggless version in the group. Okay, today, within today night, I'll be sending you. Okay, so no issue, so that you can practice and let me know about how you got the results by tomorrow. Okay, for fondant, can I use normal sugar? For fondant, you don't have to use sugar at all. Okay, so don't use all the sugar, because it makes your fondant even more sticky, and it will make the whole process messed up. How to make cream color red? Okay, so many of you have asked me and messaged me like how to get a deeper color in a cream. Okay, so to get a deeper color you have to add more food color, but I generally don't prefer adding that much food color. But if you are someone who wanted a darker deeper color, then one simple way I can tell you is go with airbrushing. Airbrushing means you are going to fully cover the cake with one thin layer of color. Okay, so that you are not going to put so much color into the cream. Okay, and when customer also tastes this or you are tasting it personally, what happens is when you use too much color, all your tongue and mouth and teeth, everything becomes blue color or green color, whatever color you are using. So generally don't do that, but airbrushing is best if you want a deeper color. For pastel colors, it is okay to add few drops of gel colors to it, right? And can you teach us one full recipe with natural colors you are talking about, Ekta? Ekta, currently with the natural colors I have separate program. Okay, how to use it and all, so I cannot teach it like here, because we have to follow certain things with that. Okay, and how to make cake in home, please put video in group. Okay, so the cake whole, this 4 days we are going to prepare cake right from the scratch, dear. So you have the link, right? So you can just go watch that link and you can watch how many times you want till 7 days. Okay, so you have to complete watching that, and I am going to teach all the things that is required to prepare a cake, like right from the scratch, how to handle, how to cream it, everything. Okay, do we have offline classes in Hyderabad? Currently only in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, dear, not in Hyderabad. Okay, but thank you so much for asking about it. Okay, what about microwave baking? Microwave baking is also pretty good, but you cannot expect an even result all the time. Okay, sometimes it might be a good sponge that you will be getting, sometimes it might be burnt on one side. That is like kind of random. Okay, and I saw many baking videos, they'll use the egg first but here last, so that we can feel the egg smell. So Pavitra, I think I have answered to your question earlier. When you use a right quality vanilla extract, you're not going to get the egg smell. Okay, ma'am, can we apply for internship under you for practicing? Of course, you can apply for internship. You can just ping to our number and then you can get details regarding it. Okay, as a mother, I'm not able to continue my job, so I want to learn from you, ma'am. Of course, dear, I can understand that I have specifically designed a program that covers right from basic to advanced baking and covering all the business aspects as well. So that is the main important thing. Okay, so that is an completely online course that has helped many number of housewives and college going girls and all. So you can just get enrolled in it. But today I'm not going to speak about it. On third and fourth day I'll be explaining how the course will be, what are all you're going to learn and all. So everything in detail I'll be explaining it, but on third and fourth day. Okay. I saw, okay, again, I think the same question by Pavitra. Pavitra, yes, I think I'm repeating it here. Just a minute. Okay, I saw. Okay, how long can we keep ganache in freezer? Okay, you can keep ganache in freezer like how much ever time you want, like maximum of 4 months. Okay, you can keep it inside the freezer. But if you want to use it, bring it down to the fridge and then to the room temperature. So it has to be stay inside the fridge for at least overnight. That would be best, and then bring to the room temperature. Don't take your ganache that is kept inside the freezer directly to the room temperature, as it releases so much of moisture and water droplets, and it in turns alters the whole consistency of the cream. Okay, so I again the same question. See dear, see, yes, many people will be using the egg first. Okay, but I generally feel that when I use egg first, what happens is the cake batter becomes cake sponge. The result of the cake sponge becomes so dense, so thick and so heavy, that is not I am not used with it. I am not happy with the result. So I'll be adding the egg finally, and I'll be beating it, and so that I won't be getting any egg smell, because I am using a good quality vanilla extract. Okay, so when you use or when you follow all these simple steps, it will be very easy for you to get a perfect vanilla sponge. Okay, and you will be definitely loving it. You would have watched videos with the eggs using first, right? But try this recipe and see, and you will be definitely thanking me later. Okay, this is going to be like one such good recipe for you to follow. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I'm getting my answer to every question. Thank you. Welcome, Madhuri. Suggest what OTG we can buy and how many liters we need for home as well as to take orders. Initially, suggest any brand, suggest beta specification also, which to buy. Okay. Lavanya, you can go with Morphe Richard, Prestige, Bajaj, Wonder Chef, and all. So these are the professional brands. To start home baking as a business, you can invest on a 45-liter OTG. Okay, not lesser than that. Okay, so that works great. And for the hand beater, you can go with the Philips. So I personally like Philips very much. And yeah, even Agaro is also doing great. But Philips is something, it is really working good for a longer period of time, and there is no rusting of the rod as well. So with anything of 350 watt above, you can purchase the hand mixer. Okay, what is double active baking powder and soda, and which brand? Does it can be applied in every recipe? I use Wickfield baking powder and soda. Okay, yes, double acting is available in Baker's brand. Okay, so you can try buying that. You can just replace with other baking powder values. Okay, so if you are using a normal baking powder, go with the double acting. So that gives a nice fluffier result. Okay, can cake batter be used for cupcakes? Of course, you can use. What are the ingredients and accessories list we need before baking? So I think I have shared the recipe and the brand details as well, so that you can go and check there, dear Aisha Khan. Okay. How can we cover the class video if we miss the class in any reasons? Where can you upload the videos? Okay, we'll be sending you the link. Okay, finally, don't worry. Okay, we have given you the access till 7 days. So even if you miss any session, try to be on time and try to complete the session then and there, because always pending works will be pending only. Okay, so try to complete it at the specified time. And if you miss for any reason, and I can understand this is a winter break, there will be many plans for you people to go, and if you have missed, you can just re-watch it till 7 days, and I'll be sending you the link finally. Okay, so you can re-watch it. Okay, in a different shape mold, example doll shape mold, sponge is not baked evenly. One place is over baked and the one is under baked. How to bake them even? If I bake for some more time, one place is getting burnt and the other place is getting baked good. Okay, I can understand your problem, dear Asifa, because this happens usually in a shaped mold. I can understand. So if you are someone who are facing this problem, you have to work on your, first of all, your recipe, and make sure that whether your OTG is in a proper condition. Like if you are baking a normal circle shaped sponge, if it is turning out pretty good, then it is fine. Okay, and the only problem with the shaped mold means what you can do is keep a cup of water inside your OTG during baking, so that the heat will be even. Okay, so that will be working best for your problem. Okay, do you have online classes, ma'am? Yes, dear, I do have online classes. We'll be talking about it on the third and fourth day. Okay, so at home in red velvet cake, the sponge not came red color like the bakery. Please help. Okay, you have to add few splashes of cocoa powder to make an intense deep red color. Okay, so that is how we are going to get. Just merely adding red color will not get a red velvet. You get only pink velvet. Okay, to get a red velvet you have to add a few grams of cocoa powder, so that this cocoa powder is going to make your color deepen, and then you will be getting a bright red velvet cake. Okay, ganache means, okay, Shajida Parveen, ganache is something called as a truffle cream, normal truffle cream that we are going to prepare with the help of cream and chocolates. Okay, that you are going to learn by tomorrow. I am going to demonstrate you how to prepare white chocolate truffle. Okay, so you can get to know that. Okay, what is the selfie of a cake? What does that mean, Sashmita? You can please explain. Okay. Oh, shelf life, I guess. Okay. Shelf life of the cake is given under that recipe itself. Okay. For any egg based product, you have to keep the shelf life of maximum of 5 to 6 days. Okay. But if it is an eggless product, and if you are not going to use milk or any dairy products, then it can stay good as long as 15 days as well. Okay. And yes, thank you so much, ma'am. It's wonderful to attend the workshop, ma'am. Suggest Good East brand. Okay, Good East brand is Delight is the good brand you can go for. And yeah, welcome. Thank you so much. Difference between normal and double acting baking soda and powder. Okay. Aishakan, that's a really good question. So, from the name double acting itself, you can get to know that it is going to act for two time. Okay, first time is when it is getting mixed in the batter, and the second time is when it is under heat, which means that when you are going to place in an preheated oven, it is going to activate for the second time. So that is called as a double acting. Okay, normal baking powder means it just acts for one time, so that you have to prepare the batter and load it into the OTG as immediately as possible. Okay, no delaying is recommended when you use an normal baking powder. Okay, if you are using double acting, then you can consider storing it even inside the fridge as well. Okay, and welcome Sajida, Parveen, Meenakshi and Shashmita. For fondant, normal sugar is okay. For fondant, we are not supposed to use any sugar, dear. Okay, so always try to buy a store bought fondant. Don't prepare fondant at your home, it is going to turn out so much disaster. Okay, so don't try to prepare fondant by yourself. Okay, it does not stay good at right temperatures. Okay, at different temperatures. In winter time it will be different, and in summer time it will be different. And the making cost of the fondant, right? For that you can buy a box of 1 kg fondant itself. That is what I am going to tell. Okay, so always buy the fondant that is you know store bought. And also there are particular brands like Magiculata, Vision and Confect that you have to stick on. No any other brands. Okay. Yeah, ma'am, difference between instant yeast and normal yeast, which is best to use? Both are best, and it depends according to which recipe that you're going to use and how you use it. Okay, best beater suggest, ma'am. Okay, best beater is Philip, Agaro, and Chroma is also doing great. But to tell you the best thing, I can suggest you Philip. Okay, 350 watt, that is going to work great. Okay. So I think, okay, okay. I think we have come to the end of today's session. And if you have any other doubts, you can just leave, or you can just come by tomorrow, and then you can get clarified as well. Okay, we have this 4 days time. Please make use of this 4 days and don't ever hesitate to ask doubt. Even if it is really a silly doubt, you can just open up. Okay, nobody is going to just make us look. Okay, so you have to learn from what the mistakes, the small mistakes, even the smaller doubts, even a silly doubt, that is only going to make us to a great baker. Okay, so please ask. Okay, mixing batter with spatula in cut and fold method or just use hand mixer, which method gives better results? Okay, if you are using a thick batter, kind of, if you are using what you tell, like if you are using butter based recipe, the batter is going to be thick. Okay, and if you are going to use oil based, the batter is going to be flowy. So for the thick batter, generally recommended to use both cut and fold as well as your the hand beater method. And for the liquidy batter, that which means that when we are going to use oil, then you can go with the hand mixer only. Okay, so for butter based, go with cut and fold as well as hand mixer. For oil based, go with hand mixer. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome Niharika. Welcome Vaishu. Your patience levels are too good, ma'am. Thanks to you. Welcome Madhuri. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending till the end. Okay, and tomorrow also we have amazing recipes for you. So I'll be teaching you how to prepare white chocolate ganache and strawberry compote, your homemade strawberry compote. Okay, so don't miss tomorrow's session and please watch it fully before you attend this live. Okay, so meanwhile, if someone of you have tried any sponge recipes here, okay, today's sponge recipe here, you can share your result. I will be uploading it to the presentation, and I'll be showing you to you all like what are the mistakes here, what how can it be rectified and all. Okay, so if you have done the sponge, you can just send us the pictures so that we can correct it here. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for attending today's live. We'll meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, so yeah, Aisha can has some doubt. Can I use cake batter for cupcakes? Of course, you can use for cupcakes. All right. So thank you all. So I'm ending the meeting here.